Let's talk about Don't Shut Me Down. Can you believe that we've been with this song for 3 months already? Or should I say 3 months only? It feels like an eternity, as it does with the entire album really. And for many, Don't Shut Me Down is not only one of the big highlights from Voyage, but the heart and soul of the album, if not even one of the great masterpieces of ABBA's entire legacy. And today, we're going to explore what makes this song so special. Hey. So, what is Don't Shut Me Down all about? Why are we drawn to it?
For me, Don't Shut Me Down is the centerpiece of Voyage, and I think it will be the one song which the album is going to be associated with in the future. I love the multi-layered lyrics that work on so many levels. On the surface, it's a story about a woman who confronts an old lover of hers. She wants to reconnect with him but also speak her mind. However, this scenario could be also interpreted as a symbol for the relationship between ABBA and their fans in relation to ABBA's avatars, as Björn said, or even about ABBA themselves. Musically, the song reminds me of a more up-tempo, happier version of One of Us, especially regarding the bass parts. And its sweeping synths remind me also a little bit on the saxophone, and Just Like That.
Many have said that the song could be the sequel to One of Us. Now that song is quite tragic. Don't Shut Me Down seems to be very happy. But is it really? It is a very big favorite for many, and usually they say, oh, it's pure ABBA, it's ABBA 100%. It makes you dance, they say, it's happy and uplifting, it's pop perfection. But what is it really that makes Don't Shut Me Down so identifiable with ABBA? There is something profoundly deep about that song. And it's not only the complexity of the lyrics and music, but I would say it is that unmistakable Scandinavian melancholia. This song has a sadness and tragic to it that is constantly in contrast with the uplifting joy throughout the entire song. And that's why so many people are drawn to it. We all can identify with sadness, and if that emotion is eased with joy, we feel even more happiness. It gives us hope. The remarkable thing is, of course, that on the surface level, we wouldn't necessarily associate this song with sadness. So let's take a look at this fascinating parallel of two contrasting emotions and how elegantly they put it together into a 4-minute pop song, really into pop perfection. One of the most important things to understand is the difference between minor chords and major chords. Minor chords sound sad, major chords are happy. Now, this is a strong generalization. Of course, there is much more that makes the feel of a musical piece. Melody, rhythm and tempo are also very important. But generally speaking, minor chords are associated with trist feelings, major chords with uplifting emotions. Now don't worry, we are not getting too technical here, not least because, as you know, I am not a musical expert. But there is a fascinating 30-minute video here on YouTube from someone who I think is one of the greatest contributors to YouTube called Mark PM US. And he goes very deep into this song, demonstrating that complexity on his piano. Now the song starts on a major chord, positive and with words that fit this sentiment. A while ago I heard the sound of children's laughter. On the next lines it's less positive. Now it's quiet, so I guess they left the park. Our protagonist is alone. The melody shifts to minor here, so again it's very fitting, but that is in fact one of the big exceptions in this song, because only occasionally do music and lyrics fit in tone. Usually we have sad lyrics but major chords, happy music. I realize I'm cold to a major chord, as in the beginning, but now with trist words. Similar on The Rain Begins to Pour. The music is happy, but the words are not. And of course, we have it the other way around. Positive lyrics, but sad music, minor chords. One of the greatest examples is in the chorus when she first sings I'm fired up, don't shut me down. Positive words to a minor chord. And at the very end of that chorus, we finally get a major chord to positive words again. I'm fired up, I'm hot, don't shut me down. Now we are truly hopeful. So this song really is a prime example of what is so typical about ABBA's best recordings. It's Scandinavian melancholia at its very best. It's so good that at best we don't even consciously recognize the sadness. But as I said, the hidden sadness is the crucial element that makes this song as happy as it is. This suspense between sad chords against happy words and the other way around makes it as hopeful as possible. And there is something very important too with this song and that complexity, because Don't Shut Me Down is also a prime example for the musical genius of Björn. Yes, you heard right, Björn, who is not responsible for the music. He writes the lyrics, of course, but he proves once and for all that he truly understands the music. He recognizes exactly which words to put to the music, which words to use. Here's a major chord, I contrast it with tragic words, with sadness. Now come the minor chord, I'll give it some happy lyrics. He is able to mix it up, but then again he knows exactly when to make the words fit to the music to really lift it to new heights. And Björn is also able to nail down what the music itself is all about. In this case, it is about now and then combined, because we do have notes from the past. Sam mentioned the bass line from One of Us, there are strings similar to If It Wasn't for the Nights, and we also have many tinkling piano bits and glissandos similar to Dancing Queen throughout. Björn recognizes the music, so he puts it into words. Another great example for that is, again I'm giving a preview, the final song, Ode to Freedom. Here, Benny uses parts of the melody of Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake, combining classical music with the sound of ABBA, and Swan Lake is, to make it really short, basically about the protagonist seeking freedom. What better way than to write about an ode to freedom, or to wish that someone would write such an ode. Now, there is something else, something really important that makes this song as energetic and as hopeful as it is. And again, in that regard, Don't Shut Me Down is one of the prime examples for what we hear in so many ABBA songs, and really throughout Voyage. It's the constant build-up within a song. We also have it in songs like Keep an Eye on Dan, I Can Be That Woman, or I Still Have Faith in You. No verse and chorus is like the other within each song. And I'm not speaking about the lyrics, of course, but the music. Don't Shut Me Down builds and constantly increases our hope and joy. So how do they do that? Again, it starts with the key changes, because the second verse is not the same as the first. It has the same chord structure, but shifts it all up a whole tone higher.
I believe it would be fair to say, will you leave me standing in the hall?
But we also have so many other differences within that second verse. After the first two lines, we have strings that didn't appear before.
Let me enter. The apartment hasn't changed at all.
We also have more intense piano bits.
These rooms were witness to our love. My tantrums and increasing.
And new harmony vocals as well, when they sing My Tantrums and Increasing Frustration. And again, after that line, incredible string interjections that build the suspense and really respond to the words. Frustration. And the very same when the verse leads to the second chorus. She sings transformation and the strings really play as if a magical transformation is happening. Now the song had completely built up everything we love about it, but it continues to build and build with that second chorus. Even before it starts with a familiar "and now you see another me," brand new harmony vocals fly in, and we have further harmonies throughout the second chorus that we didn't have in the first chorus, as well as strings and Benny's tinkling piano. And finally, as much energy and hope as the song had built up, at the very end, we are left without any solution. As Mark PMUS said, we don't know how her lover reacts, he hasn't even said a word. There is so much doubt in this song, and the ending leaves us hanging in the air, quite literally, with many tinkling piano bits that disappear into nowhere. And with that I also see big parallels to I Still Have Faith in You. Both songs were released together, and we would think that they couldn't be more different, and sure, they are a great contrast to each other. Here's the big ballad, here's the pop perfection. But there are many similar elements as well. I just said it, each song is hopeful, but we are left ambiguous. I Still Have Faith in You ends with the question, do I have it in me? As well as some orchestral notes disappearing into nowhere at the very end, like the piano bits in Don't Shut Me Down. But they also start very similar in their soundscape, with string arrangements and a beautiful vibe.
This wooden bench is getting hard.
I already mentioned I Still Have Faith in You as one of the many songs that also constantly build and build to its climax, with the second verse and chorus being different than before by adding counterparts from instruments and vocal harmonies, like in Don't Shut Me Down. And finally, both songs are very self-referential in their lyrics. Again, these two songs are crucially different in the big picture, but they do have more in common with each other than we thought if we take a closer look. Of course, these were the very first songs ABBA wrote and recorded in 2017 and 2018. They are both masterful, so how would you put a masterful song like Don't Shut Me Down into an album of songs that would develop over years? Is it simply placed onto the album? Not at all. When Little Things ends, it leaves on B flat major. Thanks to Jim from YouTube, who let us know about the specific chord that connects these two songs, because that very same chord is what starts off Don't Shut Me Down. And if that wasn't enough, of course we have the children's choir at the end of Little Things, and Agneta in the very first lines of the next song is wondering what happened to those children. ABBA are masters to craft each and every song, but they also seem to know exactly how to put it all together into an album to have a complete work. Let's take a look at the end of Don't Shut Me Down again. A bright piano that disappears into nowhere, leaving us with a feeling of uncertainty. And what is it that we hear next? A strong, powerful piano, very confident, introducing Just a Notion. And that's where we'll see you next time. Alright, until then, hey do!